Super Mario Galaxy had the Plumber Brothers face a new villain, Bowser Jr., alongside the original Bowser. But can you imagine which villains will show up in the next Mario movie? Koopalings. If there's a group of troublemakers that absolutely deserves to appear in the third film of the franchise, it's definitely the Koopalings. They are Bowser's best soldiers and serve as mini-bosses in several Mario games. It's actually strange that they haven't appeared in the last two movies, but now that both Bowser and Bowser Jr. are locked up, the Koopalings are the only ones who can rescue them. In fact, in the games, the Koopalings were considered Bowser's children long before Bowser Jr. was introduced in Super Mario Sunshine. Eventually, Nintendo changed its mind and made the Koopalings simply work for the King of the Koopas, turning Bowser Jr. into his only child. We know the movie universe is different from the game timeline and includes major changes, like making Peach and Rosalina sisters. So, will the Koopalings be adapted as Bowser's servants or as his other children? Either way, we're just getting started. We're going to tell you everything about the 10 new villains that will appear in Super Mario 3. You know what's starting. It's another awesome Cinewave! Shadow Queen. You may not have noticed, but there's a threat that started being built up in Super Mario Galaxy, and no one is quite sure who it is. We're talking about the mysterious figure who went after Rosalina and Peach to steal their power, forcing Rosalina to hide her little sister in the Mushroom Kingdom. No one knows for sure who was chasing them that day, but we have reasons to believe it was the Shadow Queen. She is the villain of the game Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, a millennia-old entity with a dark appearance. But the important part is that the Shadow Queen is purple, which could explain the same colored light that appeared in that scene from the movie. Another fact that can't be ignored is that in the game, the Shadow Queen steals Princess Peach's body and uses it as her own. Since we know that the threat the two princesses were running from in the movie wanted their powers, this fits perfectly with the Shadow Queen. In Super Mario 3, we could see her invading the Mushroom Kingdom and possessing Peach, just like she did in the game. The difference is that, in this new version, the villain would do this to gain access to the princess's cosmic powers. Wario and Waluigi. Since the very first movie, there are two villains Mario fans have been eagerly waiting to see: Wario and Waluigi. The similarity between their names and Mario and Luigi's names is no coincidence, because this duo is basically an evil copy of the franchise's heroes. Wario and Waluigi are two greedy mercenaries who, instead of going on adventures to save innocent lives, will do anything to earn more and more money. Wario has a deep jealousy of Mario's popularity and is his rival, always trying to outdo him. Just imagine the rivalry Mario had with Donkey Kong in the first movie. Now multiply that by 100. With that in mind, it's only a matter of time before the two clash in a movie. However, it's important to remember that Wario and Waluigi are not 100% evil. They're closer to anti-heroes than full-on villains. In other words, they might team up with the heroes at some point in the film. However, that wouldn't reduce the rivalry between Wario and Mario, which would lead to plenty of funny scenes of the two insulting each other. King Boo. Something the Mario movies haven't explored yet is the ghostly side of this universe. In many games, the plumbers have to fight ghosts called Boos. If the next movie wants to do something different, we could have King Boo as the main villain this time. He is the leader of the ghosts and has already proven to be a major threat to Mario's crew, especially in the Luigi's Mansion series, where Luigi is the main character and fights hauntings, even though he's terrified of any ghost he sees. These games turned King Boo into Luigi's arch nemesis, creating a dynamic similar to Bowser and Mario. That's something that would be really cool to see in a movie. If King Boo is confirmed as the antagonist of the next Super Mario production by Illumination, you can be sure Luigi will have a much bigger role in this adventure. Would you also love to see King Boo appear in the next Mario movie? If so, comment down below #Boo. Fury Bowser. Even though Bowser has already been the villain in the first two Mario movies, we can't rule out the possibility of him returning to that role. After all, the King of the Koopas is Mario's ultimate arch-enemy and has been the villain in a huge number of games. On top of that, he hasn't even reached the level of threat he has shown in the games, like when he became Fury Bowser. This transformation happened in Bowser's Fury, an incredible DLC for Super Mario 3D World, where the King of the Koopas becomes much bigger than usual, takes on a black coloration, and basically turns into a living apocalypse. Even Bowser Jr. asked Mario for help to bring his father back to normal. Super Mario Galaxy already seems to be building toward this, since Bowser Jr. used his magic paintbrush to gain a very similar transformation in the final battle. So, in Super Mario 3, will the kid use the magic paintbrush on his own father, and will that lead to the birth of Fury Bowser? Master Hand. What if the next villain Mario faces isn't just his enemy, but the enemy of every Nintendo character? That's exactly what would happen if the antagonist of Super Mario 3 is Master Hand. He isn't a villain from the Mario games, but from the Super Smash Bros. Series, a crossover featuring characters from multiple Nintendo franchises, and even from games made by other companies. This would make perfect sense if the next Mario movie isn't actually Super Mario 3, but instead a massive crossover adapting Super Smash Bros., something fans have been waiting for many years. In this production, we could see the return of Donkey Kong, Fox McCloud from Star Fox, and also other characters who haven't appeared in the movies yet, like Kirby and Link from The Legend of Zelda, another franchise that's getting a movie. In the best case scenario, the movie could even feature characters from other studios, like Sonic from Paramount's live-action films, and Steve, played by Jack Black, from a Minecraft movie. Although Jack Black is also the voice of Bowser, so it would be hilarious if the two met. Tatanga. Even though he's not very well known, Tatanga is a character who has strong reasons to be the villain of Super Mario 3, and that reason lies in the post-credits scene of Super Mario Galaxy, where Princess Daisy appears, hinting that she will be an important character in the plumber's next adventure. The thing is, Tatanga was the villain of Super Mario Land, the game where Daisy was introduced to the franchise. In that game, he kidnapped Daisy and took over her kingdom, the Kingdom of Sarasa Land. It's easy to imagine this being adapted in Super Mario 3, even if some changes are made. In fact, unlike Bowser, Tatanga is an alien. This could mean that he was the one chasing Rosalina and Peach when they were children, instead of the Shadow Queen. Now that the sisters have reunited, the news may have spread across the universe, which could lead Tatanga to go after them again to try to harness their cosmic power. Another possibility is that he at least appears as a minor villain in the movie as a reference to Super Mario Land, just like Wart showed up in Super Mario Galaxy, only as a smaller threat that gets in Peach and Toad's way. Wart. Speaking of Wart, his appearance in Super Mario Galaxy might be more than just a reference to Super Mario Bros. 2, where he is the main villain. It's possible that Wart showed up as a smaller, gangster-style villain just to surprise everyone in the next movie when he returns as an even more dangerous figure. It would even be interesting if it were revealed that Wart rose through the ranks of the intergalactic criminal underworld, became the mastermind behind all the criminals, and now wants revenge on Peach for humiliating him. Maybe he could even be the main villain this time. But even if he isn't the biggest antagonist in the film, Wart can still give the heroes a hard time just by getting in their way and making it harder for them to defeat the true enemy of the story. And if you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do. Click and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. Broodals. We've already talked about the Koopalings, but there's another major group of villains that could be formidable enemies for Mario in this next movie, the Broodals. They were introduced in the game Super Mario Odyssey and serve as bosses in that game. While the Koopalings are turtle-like creatures like Bowser, the Broodals are rabbits, each with a crazier design than the last. One thing we can be sure of about the Broodals is that they would deliver incredible battles against Mario and his crew. In fact, if they show up, it's safe to assume that other amazing elements from Super Mario Odyssey will also be adapted, like Cappy, a sentient hat that allows the plumber to possess the body of any enemy. Can you imagine the spectacular action scenes we could get with these characters appearing? Dimentio. Besides the Shadow Queen, there's another character from the Paper Mario franchise with great potential to be a villain in the next movie featuring our favorite plumbers. His name is Dimentio, and he is the main boss of the game Super Paper Mario. At first, he seems to be just a henchman for another villain named Count Bleck, but it is soon revealed that Dimentio was actually manipulating him all along. Dimentio is capable of traveling between dimensions, but not only that, he can also manipulate them, which makes him truly dangerous. The Super Mario movies have already started to explore the idea of other dimensions and universes, since the Plumber Brothers were born on Earth and traveled to the dimension where the Mushroom Kingdom exists through magical pipes. This is very important. On top of that, in Super Mario Galaxy, we saw that Fox McCloud came from another universe and was looking for a way to return to it, which he managed to do right at the very end. So, bringing Dimentio into Super Mario 3 would be a great opportunity to further explore the concept of alternate dimensions and universes. Do you agree with us, or do you think it's still too early for that? It's almost over, but until then, you can stay with us. There are 2 super fun videos waiting for you. Thanks, and see you next time.